Okay, so the topic I chose for the project was social media surveillance and law enforcement. So what does this mean? A fact I included was 89% of the world is being actively monitored. And I included this fact because I personally didn't realize this was such a big part in a law enforcement's duty. This is almost 3 billion people that have to monitor in order to keep the world as safe as possible. So why does social media play such an important role in law enforcement? As the world quickly evolves, social media and technology have become a huge part in everyone's lives. This meant that police have to start monitoring these things because they can carry a lot of information. For the police, social media has given them unprecedented access to the public and vice versa. Via Facebook and Twitter, police and the public can communicate in real time about incidents and events. Social media has also become an important tool in police investigations. Social surveillance is the process by which social technologies like Facebook and Instagram let users gather social information about their friends and acquaintances. This is the process police departments and law enforcement departments will refer to when talking about social media enforcement. The technology provides the capability to constantly monitor and archive information on millions of people activities, and it can be used by law enforcement to post for information on protests, potential threats, breaking news, and more. Police departments also use social media sites to solicit public supporting and reporting crime. For example, police post crime data and trends to Facebook and Twitter to create public awareness and encourage citizens to report suspicious activity. Now, for past and current law, the FBI's counterintelligence program has been around since the 1940s. It was used to spy on foreign relations and civil rights leaders. Today, they often use social media to monitor and threats of attacks and uprisings. Over the years, people like MLK and other civil rights leaders have been spied on by the FBI Counterintelligence Division. Today, the division uses social media to monitor protests like BLM or issues at the border. Many state laws allow law enforcement to monitor social media. States have made laws about law enforcement monitoring threats, cyber terrorism, sex trafficking, child pornography, and other things. There are many pro-arguments for this topic, but I chose the ones I think are the most important to take into consideration when arguing about the topic. One of the main things is that police departments use social media to inform the public about criminal incidents. Twitter and Facebook are particularly useful for quickly relaying information to the public. The Atlanta Police Department is an example of how police uses social media sites to inform the public. The Atlanta police often post video surveillance of suspects on Facebook to solicit the public's help in catching those criminals. Social media has become a valuable tool to quickly alert the public about missing children. For instance, law enforcement officers will post a missing child's photo and identifying information on Facebook and Twitter. Anyone who has seen the missing child is encouraged to contact the local police. Another reason police can inform the public is about protests, riots, or even shootings that could be going on. This is important so that people can avoid the area, especially if it's violent. Police will post about these events on social media because people are always on social media and it's easy for people to see the information and stay away from the area. Another reason why law enforcement should monitor social media is because they use social media to solve crimes. Solving crimes quickly, 73% of federal, state, and local law enforcement professionals surveyed think social media helps solve crimes more quickly. Another survey by the International Association of Chiefs of Police found that 85% of police departments use social media to solve crimes. And along with solving crimes quickly is why they would use footage. Finding footage of crimes being committed is fairly easy for law enforcement. Once a video is posted, it is not hard for police to find it on any social media platform and then prosecute the people in the video for their crimes. For example, the release of CCTV footage of Melbourne woman Jill Megger's last moments via Facebook pages and YouTube assisted in apprehending her killer. One of the main reasons law enforcement should use social media is because of the online threats. The Parkland shooting is a great example of online threats, and this just happened a few years ago. The FBI ignored a warning that 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz might attack a school, failing to act on a call just weeks before Cruz allegedly carried out a shooting rampage at a high school in South Florida. This resulted in the killings of 17 innocent people, which could have easily been prevented if the police took it more seriously. And since then, there have been many changes, which a big change was making the red flag law. The red flag law have been enacted in 13 states in the past couple of years, allowing relatives or law enforcement with concerns about a person's mental health to go to court and seek to have firearms removed, at least temporarily. I think that the law should be enacted through all the states because even if a person is completely fine and doesn't plan on using their firearms to commit violence, I think it's better to be safer than sorry, which is why I think they should be using this law in a lot more states. Going against the pros with the cons is one of them is being invasive. Law enforcement uses it to spy on people. An example of this is in Memphis, Tennessee. Sergeant created a phony Facebook account to impersonate a black activist, infiltrating online black protest spaces and collecting intelligence of hundreds of activists. Many believe their personal privacy is stripped from them when officers are allowed to do this. Along with that, it also leaks information of people. Following the Ferguson riots, FBI agents took personal information of peaceful protesters and leaked it to fusion centers, labeling them as potential terrorists. This is believed to be invasive because if they did not have social media, they wouldn't be seen as this. I think this is also a major con because some people may post something and another person may take it out of context and make a bigger deal out of something that they didn't really realize they were saying. So this is definitely a major con in social media, or law enforcement using social media. Another con is that it infringes on our First Amendment right. People have been flagged for what they've said on social media. Police take what they find on social media and flags them solely off of what they said, which is basically what I was saying earlier about saying something that you really don't mean to say, but other people will take offense to, which is why you really have to watch what you're saying on social media, because you might think something else and another person might think it's offensive to them. Another thing is people are made suspect. Innocent people are being made suspects, and this means there's potential for innocent people to be put in jail based strictly off of what they said, again taking away their freedom of speech. The last con I found important was the lack of restrictions and policies. Police can and have gone too far. Like the sergeant from Memphis in the first slide overstepped his boundaries from making himself as someone he wasn't. This invasive act could have been prevented from the stricter restrictions and regulations. Another thing is locations of civilians can be leaked or personal information. With the lenient policies, the right to privacy and speech are taken away, and unfortunately, in some cases, innocent people are made to look bad. With the easier restrictions, civilians can be exposed, like their address, which has happened before. This has recently been happening, especially with the BLM protests. I see all over Twitter and sometimes Facebook too, people leaking police officers' addresses or their family members' addresses, which is extremely scary for the family, because you really don't know what can happen. This can also happen with the criminals' addresses being leaked as well. People going to the criminals' houses and destroying their property, breaking into their houses, which is extremely scary and something that shouldn't be posted on social media. So yeah, these are my resources, and that's basically everything I took from the assignment. I found a lot of good evidence backing up on both sides of the argument, which I think should definitely be taken into consideration on the topic. So yeah, thank you for watching.